topic for this how-to is physical structure. You will see examples of ways to use physical structure in the preschool environment. Some of the children you will see may not have a diagnosis of ASD. However, the examples all depict strategies and teaching practices that can be beneficial for all students. The environment plays an important role in all our lives and can affect how we behave. When we are in environments with more structure, it's easier to understand what to do and where to go. When we are in environments with less structure, confusion can quickly set in. Structure can include the way we physically structure an environment, but it can also include how we reduce distractions by using clearly defined spaces, organization, arrangement, and flow. Environments should be structured based on the needs of the student. Structuring the environment is not as easy as just placing things in a neat and organized way. It takes a little more consideration to get it right. Depending on the age of the student, the environment will look different regarding the size of the furniture, types of materials used, and the structure implemented. First, and most importantly, ask, what are the specific needs of this person? Each student is unique and will require individualization. Every educator must consider structure of their learning environments. As you go throughout this presentation, consider your student, how to make their environment predictable, and plan to increase independence. Every educator should provide structure from the very beginning. However, there are some other times for you to provide structure, including when you did not initially provide structure for your students, there is a new environment or setting or expectation, you begin to see new behaviors, increased independence is not occurring, and life becomes hectic and less structured. Using physical structure in the classroom ensures the safety of all students and helps students navigate the classroom independently. It also helps students access materials independently. Structure also provides independent workspaces, quiet spaces, and promotes self-regulation. Let's look at one teacher's classroom and the way she has used physical structure.
So this is our preschool classroom. Over here we have our boxes. Each child has a box that has their name and has an object, and they put their lunches in here, their drinks, and then they come over to the right and they put their coats and their backpacks. Again, they have the same object labeled with their names. We can work on self-help skills, being independent, taking off their coats and backpacks, and also work on recognizing their name, spelling their name. On the floor, you'll see some visuals. Our room, the theme is frogs, so we use frogs for our visuals. We have numbers right now, 1 through 8, that we're working on, and that's where the children will stand when we're getting ready to leave the classroom. It helps us to stay organized, and it also helps them to just be aware of space, and also working on our numbers, number recognition. When the students come in the morning or in the afternoon, typically the first thing we do is we come to the table. We might have a group activity at the table, or we might have individual activities. It depends on the students. We also have their schedules here because it's centrally located in the room, so it's easy to get to, it's accessible. Some students might be doing different activities, so they might look at their schedule, their book, and find out what they're doing that morning for their work. We also keep a transition box in the middle of the classroom so that that's accessible for students who need objects to transition. So when it's time to go to the bathroom, they'll grab their diaper and go. Or if it's time to wash their hands, they'll take the sip and go. Or time to go to circle time to work on our academics, they'll take their object and go over to circle time. This is our circle time area where the kids come over. We do whole group, large group instruction over here. Typically it might be story time, it might be an activity on the smartboard. It's also where we have our classroom schedule that they can look at from anywhere around the room. We also have visuals on our chairs to help the children recognize their pictures and also know where they're going to sit. And we use other visuals as well. We have our behavior system that we use with the students. and this is also where we do our music. This is our individual workstation area. This is where we pull the students. We work one-on-one. We do a lot of direct instruction. It's all individualized. Each child has their own box of things we're working on, different tasks. A lot of the students are using a token system, so that goes along with the workstation, and that helps the students to know that this is the area where they sit and they work. And then we also have an area over here, which is our reading center, and it's also a sensory area if a child needs to take a break, needs to work with some fidgets, just needs some time by themselves. They know they can go in this little area. This is part of our center area. You'll see this area over here is for dramatic play, housekeeping area. This area over here is typically used for blocks, for building. And then this table right here is used for art, fine motor writing. When the children choose a center, they take their picture card and then they put it on the area that they're going to be playing in. Kind of helps them know where to stay and where their boundaries are, and it also is good for helping them to make choices. And you'll notice that some of the toys are put up high and some are down low. We do that so that we can give the children opportunities to ask or request for items that they want.
Now that you've seen some examples of physical structure, you are more aware of how to use it in the classroom. Remember, physical structure is the way we organize the environment and reduce distractions by using clearly defined spaces, organization, arrangement, and flow. Physical structure is individualized to the student's needs and helps a student be successful in many different ways. Physical structure ensures a student's safety, improves classroom navigation and access to materials, provides areas for independent work, quiet spaces, and provides clear boundaries and conveys behavioral expectations.